What's happening, fam? Jay Sinister Productions. A little bit of a sad, disheartening video. You can see what we got in front of us. So what we're going to do is talk about what happened, talk about what went down, and show you some video footage that's going to show everything that happened up to the point that it went down. But before we do that, as always, you know what we got to do? We got to roll that intro footage.
Jay Sinister Productions.
All right, fam, we're back. Hey, look, let's jump right into it before we show some pretty interesting footage of my maiden flight of this Talon GT Rebel from ZOHD, or ZOHD, excuse me. You can see right off the bat where I had some trouble. So, you know, I got her up, used all the features of the Vector. I had the auto launch program. Everything went pretty dang smooth until I brought her in to land. And there was a lot of factors that went into this bad landing, and this is the result. So overall, structurally, this aircraft held up pretty well, in my opinion. Most of the damage occurred at the nose, back, and I'll show you. Let's just pop it off. So here's the nose cone portion right here. So it came off and broke. I'm going to say somewhat cleanly, even though this is foam. How clean can you get with foam? And it broke off into 3 different pieces. So here's your nose cone. Here's another portion of foam. And then on the side, you can kind of, let me move this around so you can see it. Here's another portion that is still held on by some blend derm tape that is holding the camera wiring for the run cam that I have in front. We'll talk about that too in a second. So, and of course, you know, the top is going to pop off, so, but no big deal. Structurally, all the damage for the aircraft happened from the nose cone back to about where the magnets are on top. Everything inside is still intact. The Vector, the Dragon Link receiver, the servos, the GPS in the back, everything's intact. All the problem, all the damage occurred right up front. And thanks to these carbon spars, well, I don't know if these are carbon, it looks like plastic from here, to these spars in the side that run along the entire sides of both sides of the fuselage, they absorbed most of the damage, transferred it out to the foam, and didn't push any of it back towards the rear. Now on one of the wings, which you won't be able to see really well, but I'm not going to fuss with it too much, but right here, you can't see that, but maybe you can now. There's a little bit of damage right there. You can probably see right here where the separation is in the wing. Easily fixable with either some tape, because it wasn't a clean break. It was just a little hairline fracture. So I can use some tape or some foam tack to glue this back together. This can be repaired and put back together. But what I learned from this is that when you made a new airframe, and not just a new airframe, when you made a new airframe with a new type of flying and a new controller, so I'm transmitter, excuse me, I'm using the Horus X10S for this, where I've been using a Spectrum for the DX8, Spectrum DX8 for the Aero Scout S, and let's throw in one more variable. I was wearing some Fatshark goggles for the first time. Okay, so you got a new airframe, all right, new transmitter, and goggles for the first time. 3 combined all in one. Now I will say this, flying was relatively simple. It's just a matter of getting your thumbs used to the new dynamics of the transmitter. Piece of cake. The speed of the aircraft with the throttle, it was kind of hard to get used to, because the Horus X10S, in my opinion, is not as forgiving as the Spectrum DX8 when it comes to throttle movement. So I'm used to having to throttle at a certain setting, a certain indentation for a certain speed on the Spectrum DX8. On the Horus X10S, I can give very little throttle response, and I'm going to get a lot of power out of it. Granted, I didn't have any rates set on there for high and low. I just had it straight out. Those were a few of the things that factored into the crash. Landing, that is. It didn't fall out of the sky from a very great height. You'll see that when we run the video. And anything that I'm talking about on here, I'm probably going to do some B-roll footage and show you some pictures of a little bit more better close-ups as I'm talking. So if it goes in and out, that's the reason why. So you put all that together, plus I was receiving instruction as I was flying. So this is all brand new to me. I'm getting too much input, and I just lose the confidence that I'd built up with the trainer aircraft in flying this aircraft. The total flight time, I was up for about, I don't know, maybe 16 minutes. I may be exaggerating, 16 minutes, maybe more. I started out normally, testing the return to home, testing the loiter, filling the controls out, all that was fine. And then I took her out, hey, take her out for a mile, see what you can do. Hey, no problem. Took it out for the mile. Let me tell you something. The pepper box and the antenna setup that I had, plus the RunCam camera, the video feedback in my goggles and on my ground station, superb. I mean, I had hardly no, and you'll see from the video, I probably didn't have hardly any video breakup. So that part of the build was great. I have the pepper box and my antenna setup and my camera selection. It's great. So no problems there. That I'll leave alone because this plane is not done flying. It's going to be shelved for now because I'm going to put it back together, slowly but surely put this back together and get a few parts that I'm going to need and just glue the rest. And this will become like a test bed aircraft, or one that I'll fly once I get better and used to its speed. I think I would fare better with an aircraft that flies is a little bit slower. And I have something in store for that I've seen that I think that I'll be able to fly a little bit easier. And the thing about it, there's not much expense I'm going to have for that because I'm going to take the internals out of here, the flight controller, which is still the Vector. I love the Vector. Wish they were still in business and would support this further. I got my Dragon Link, and I've also got my video transmitter and all the antenna and GPS units to go with it. So I'm just going to pull that out of here, refurbish this aircraft, check her out, make her airworthy again, then take her back up and see what I do. What I can do. But let me talk about some of the winners of this situation. Now, you may say, well, I took a big loss in this. Well, that's not exactly true. My philosophy is this: to lose is to learn, okay? But if you lose and don't learn from what caused you to lose, then you are truly at a loss. But to lose is to learn. So I figured out a few things. Number one, I stepped in a little bit too fast to what I was doing. Number two, I received too much instruction on the outside, and I was trying to combine all that with, number three, a new aircraft, Fatshark goggles, and a transmitter that I wasn't fully comfortable with at the time. Sticks are fine, but remembering where all my switch positions were threw me off. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the winners of this. You look at this nose cone, all right, which came completely off, and you'll say, well, how could anything win from that? Well, let me show you. This GoPro Hero 7 Black and this RunCam Swift 2 right here. As you see, these, outside of me wiping them off a bit, are exactly as they were when they came off the aircraft. Okay, I haven't plugged this RunCam in to test it yet, but I have checked this out, and the video on it, the recording is still there. There's no structural damage. And oh, by the way, you see this Neewer ND filter that pops off? Okay. This never came off of the camera. Now, this is a testament to GoPro. And although this didn't take a huge fall, it did go in nose first. And if you can recall, when this GoPro camera is installed, okay, we got it installed in the front of the aircraft, the lens sits out from the nose cone, and that means that the ND filter, and this is an ND8 by the way, not that it makes a difference, the ND filter sits on the outside of the aircraft. So when this went down, the nose cone broke off from the aircraft, the GoPro popped out. Actually, let me rephrase that. The GoPro, yes, it did pop out. I believe it did. ND filter did come away, but it was laying next to the GoPro. No damage. Still fits. No loose parts. The recording was sacrificed. So this is like the black box of aircraft action cameras from my experience. GoPro Hero 7 Black, tank. So this nose cone, although the foam is damaged, there's hardly any noticeable except for a piece of plastic right here. Let me come in right there. All right, a little spar, if you want, little tooth is broken off. But there's no structural damage to the rigidity of the nose cone. So this nose cone saved these cameras, although they did come out. And it did come with this camera, the Runcam Swift 2, did come away from its tether, or the cords, the wires for it. But there's no damage to it either. No crack in the screen, no structural damage. The board feels still secure, but I haven't tested it yet. But I'm pretty positive that this is going to be, the video is still going to be usable. And I'm going to be able to salvage this and put it back into either another airframe or back into this once I get it fixed. Every piece of foam that broke away, I have it. So there's not like a million little pieces of foam that I got to find somewhere to put this back together. All the foam is here. So it's just a matter of placing everything back in its place. Okay, so look at that. That's back. This piece down here goes at the bottom. We'll put that back and secure this back in place. And outside of a small crack here and then a small crack further back, that's it. That's all the damage. I'm not sure about the mechanicals, but I feel that everything is fine. So, unfortunately, Maiden Flight is going to shelve the Talon GT Rebel. That's operator error, and I'm not going to blame that on anyone else because I was on the sticks, neither here nor there. So, talked enough. Let's move into the actual video flying footage. We'll show that from start to finish. Maybe a cut here or there, and then we'll come back and close this out. But hey, this is just to show you what happens when you move a little bit too fast. And I'm transparent. I'm not going to sit here and make a video and lie and say, oh, it was mechanical, the machine was wrong, the plane, but no, I had it, the CG was balanced, everything was perfect. I used my CG balancer, it's straight. There was pure operator error because at the end of the day, I'm on the sticks, not anyone else. This is what happened, but I'm going to move on. It stung, I ain't gonna lie, it hurt. But the only damage is to the aircraft and a little bit of my ego, but that's salvageable. So come on. Follow me over here and let's check out this video footage. All right, peeps, there you have it. You saw the video for yourself. You saw the landing. You checked out the video footage. Hey, let me know what you thought about the clarity of the footage, you know, and how good it looked for, you know, a mile out. And I know it's only a mile. That's really nothing. But let me know what you thought about it. And this will be a testament to those who are wondering, you know, what equipment should I get? What should I use for cameras? What antenna should I use? How do I set up my pepper box? So on and so forth. And you'll know from this video footage how clear and clean it is. What I did, I took the GoPro footage and tried to sync it up as best as I could to the Runcam Swift 2 footage, which has the OSD on it. And I try to put those together so you can see, one, the GoPro footage, which should be, you know, it was probably smooth like butter. And then you'll get the actual footage in the smaller window of the Runcam Swift with the OSD. So you can see the relative speed and height and distance, all that good stuff. But like I said before, this is a lesson learned, all right? And to lose, which I did, I lost an aircraft, not totally. I'm just going to lose some time with being able to fly this one. But to lose is to learn. I've learned a few things about my overconfidence in flying and what I need to do next time. So I'm not going to repeat the same mistakes that I did before. And now I should be back in the mix with more videos, more updates, and just, you know, just posting more stuff out there. It'll be on the same schedule. I'm not going to knock you down with videos, but I'm going to keep that J Sinister Productions hype going. Keep it tight. And also, thank you to everyone who subscribed. We've picked up more new subscribers. We're gaining ground. Hey, I appreciate it. We appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, also, reminder. Big ups and congratulations to C. Lemansky, who won, C. Lemansky, excuse me, who won our last and actually our first giveaway. It was simple. He did what we asked him to do. It was just like the video, ensure you're subscribed, and leave a comment. He did all three, got some free swag, shipped it out to him. C. Lemansky, if you received it, hey, let us know in the comments down below what you thought of it and everything else that goes along with it. So, enough of my jibber jabbering and talking. As always, we appreciate you. We thank you. Check us out on our Instagram page and continue to follow and stick with J Sinister Productions. If you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Check those pertinent boxes and buttons down below. Subscribe, like, and share to J Sinister Productions. Get down with the JSP posse. As always, I am Jay of J Sinister Productions, exiting stage left.
God damn, that boy can sing.
You must be crazy.
He good.
You must be crazy.